Okay, let's talk about the holy grail of personal finance, passive income. Right, we've all seen the gurus online, the promises, but this explainer, this is about what it actually takes to get there.
I mean, 100 grand a year? That's the dream. It's making serious money while you're sleeping, or traveling, or just doing whatever it is you love. It represents total freedom and security.
But here's the thing. Almost nobody ever stops to ask the most critical question. How much money do you actually need to have to make that happen? That's what we're going to do right now. We're peeling back all that online hype to find the real numbers.
And this quote, man, it just nails it. This isn't about some secret trick or a magical investment. It's actually pretty simple. It's just math. Powerful math that can turn a pile of assets into a real, predictable income stream.
So how in the world do you tackle a goal this big without getting completely overwhelmed? Well, you break it down. We're not going to think about one giant pile of money. Instead, we're going to build 4 separate income engines, because honestly, the wealthy almost never rely on just one thing.
So here it is. This is our game plan. We've got 4 distinct buckets: good old rental real estate, dividend stocks, bonds, and something called REITs. Each one of these is going to do some of the heavy lifting to get us to that big $100,000 a year target.
And to keep it simple, the goal for each of our 4 buckets is to generate $25,000 a year. See how that works? We just took that big, scary number and broke it into 4 much smaller, more specific targets. Now the path forward is a whole lot clearer. So let's see what it takes to fill them up.
First up, let's start with a classic, rental real estate. This is probably the first thing that pops into your head when you hear passive income, right? And for good reason. It can be an absolute powerhouse when you set it up correctly. And at its heart, it's really this simple. You own an asset, a house, and someone else pays you to use it. After you pay the mortgage, the taxes, all the bills, the money that's left over is yours. That's your cash flow. That's the passive income we're aiming for.
Okay, time for the math. Let's say, pretty conservatively, that you can build a portfolio of properties that gets you a 6% cash-on-cash return. To hit our target of $25,000 a year from that, you'd need to have about $417,000 of your own money, your equity, invested in those properties.
But of course, there's always a trade-off. With real estate, the upside is huge. You've got solid returns, your tenants are paying down your loan for you, and the property is hopefully going up in value. But it's complicated. It's not easy to just sell it tomorrow. And let's be real, it's not truly passive from day one. You got to build the system first.
All right, let's shift gears and move to our second bucket, dividend stocks. Now, this is a huge favorite for investors who just want a simpler, much more hands-off way to generate some income.
You gotta love the concept here. You buy a tiny piece of a big, stable company, and because you're a part owner, they literally just send you a check, a slice of their profits every few months. It's ownership in its purest, simplest form.
So let's run the numbers. A really popular high-dividend ETF right now is paying out around 3.44%. Well, to get our target of $25,000 a year from that, you'd need to invest roughly $727,000. And that, right there, is the blunt reality of it. Dividend income is amazing, but it takes a lot of capital.
So what's the trade-off? Why do it? Well, look at the pros. It's so simple. You can sell your shares in seconds, you're instantly diversified, it's almost zero effort. The con, though, is that big capital requirement we just saw. You're basically trading a lower cash return for ultimate simplicity and convenience.
Okay, moving on to our final 2 income engines. And we're going to look at these 2 together, bonds and REITs. These are 2 more key players you'll find in almost any well-rounded income portfolio.
So first, what's a bond? Just think of it like you're the bank. You're lending money to a government or a big company, and they promise to pay you back with interest. You know, their main job in a portfolio isn't to be super exciting, it's to be a stable, predictable cash flow machine.
And if we check the math, for a bond portfolio paying about 4.19%, you need almost $600,000. And for REITs, which are basically companies that own huge portfolios of real estate, a 3.7% yield means you'd need around $676,000. So REITs are kind of like getting all the benefits of real estate, but with the ease of buying a stock.
Okay, we've looked at all 4 buckets. We've run the numbers on each one. Now it's time to put all the pieces together and see what this $100,000 a year passive income machine actually costs. Let's build it, step by step. First, we anchor it with our $417,000 in real estate. Then we add the simplicity of $727,000 in dividend stocks.
For that crucial stability, we layer in $597,000 in bonds. And finally, for more property exposure, we top it off with $676,000 in REITs.
And there it is. To generate $100,000 a year in a diversified, pretty conservative way across these 4 assets, you are looking at a total asset base of roughly $2.4 million. That is the number. That's the number that replaces the fantasy with a clear mathematical target.
Now, I know that number might seem massive, maybe even impossible, but seeing it, truly understanding it, is actually incredibly empowering because it unlocks the most important piece of this whole puzzle, a massive shift in how you think about money.
This slide right here is the whole game. Most of us are trained to think like the person on the left. How do I make more money? The asset builder on the right asks a totally different question. What income-producing asset can I build or buy? It's a huge shift from chasing cash to building money-making machines.
And really, this is what it all comes down to. Passive income is just when you own things that pay you. A house pays you. A company pays you. A bond pays you. But the key, the absolute foundation of it all, is that you have to first focus on owning enough of those things.
So look, the goal isn't to magically wake up tomorrow with a $2.4 million portfolio. The goal is to decide which one of these income engines makes the most sense for you right now and to just start laying the first brick. So the real question this leaves us with is, what's the first income engine you're going to start building?